So true.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like Diamond's. Diamond said entitlement stops you
Mhm.
from being it. And the reason I said that there's something called emperor syndrome in
Mm-hmm.
psychology, and it's like if you don't teach your children to be grateful, they're expecting you to do things. So there's no reason for them to be grateful because they feel entitled
Yeah.
to get those things. So they're expecting you to help them. They're
Yep.
expecting you to
Yeah.
give things to them. So they have this syndrome in their mind that it's already supposed to be done. So why would they thank you?
Yep.
Oh
Right.
yeah.
I know an example of the story that I gave earlier, just being so fixated on what you want or what you think is best for you can sometimes like blind you. You know,
Yeah.
we're talking about spiritual blindness, like it can kind of blind you to what God is doing and can kind of blind you to things that you even should be grateful for.
That's real
Yeah.
talk. I was going to say, so I looked up some red flags for that, some things that kind of give you some things that tell you, hey, I might be becoming ungrateful. So there's 6 things that I found. It was just that you're always in need. So you're never happy with what you get. I always need more. I always need more. I can't stop. I can't stop. If you always need more, then you're never going to be grateful.
Yeah.
Not saying that you can't want more, like you can't have a dream to expand your life, but you're not even happy in the situation that you're in. Also, you don't have time for someone else unless you need something from them. You expect, someone just said this, you expect people to help you. Not that you're asking people, not that you understand. The thing that kind of went with that is the world revolves around you and your schedule. Because if you need a ride,
Well-
you're like, well, I have to be at work this time. Well, you have to be there 3 hours early because that's when I can drive you. But you don't understand. But that's being self-centered when you don't understand that. So these are things to watch out for. Also, you bite the hand that feeds you. And I think this is something we talked about when we were talking about when we were kids. So often it's easy to judge your parents and be like, oh, well, how come you didn't do this? How come you didn't do that? And how come you didn't do
Yeah.
this? But they're the people who raised you, fed you,
Yeah.
and most of us didn't grow up homeless, and we had roofs over our head. We had food. We went to Disneyland. We've been on vacation. There's all these
Yeah.
things that they did, but we're so quick to bite those things. Same thing happens when you're an adult, but as it's an easier example to give you. And then the last thing was just you always remember the one thing that someone didn't do for you, rather than the
All the other things that they did do.
many of
True.
things that they did to help you out.
Yeah.
Because you don't realize what they had to do. Like Lynette said, sometimes, someone does something inconvenient to your schedule, and it's not, as Christians, we're not always going to point that out. Like, I'd love to help you, but that's totally going to throw my entire day off. But you as a person should recognize that, hey, sometimes this is going to throw this person's life off.
Yeah.
And just be grateful for that. And I like one thing that one of the mothers of our church says. She really loves thank you notes. And it's the simple things in life that really kind of go a long way. Just saying thank you, not just in the moment like, oh, thanks for the ride, but going back and saying, you want to know what, you really blessed my day
Right.
because you gave me a ride, you offered this ride, this really helped me out. I just want to say thank you.
Yeah.
That's awesome. We're gonna talk a little bit about some biblical examples of gratitude and gratefulness. Nate, you want to share?
Yes, I would say one thing that always sticks out to me is the children of Israel after they got set free.
They really ungrateful.
Like Numbers chapter 11, the first verse says, one day the Israelites started complaining about their troubles. The Lord heard them and became so angry that he destroyed the outer edges of their camp with fire. And so, like, I always go back to that just because God was literally with them
Well,
every step of the way in the wilderness, and when something came up that they did not like, or when an expectation was not met,
well,
that's when they started to complain. And so, to me, like, complaining quenches the
Yeah.
spirit of worship and the spirit of
Yeah.
praise
Yeah.
as well.
yeah.
Just because, like, they had food to eat, so God provided food, right? God provided
Yeah.
manna. God provided even quail too, right?
Yeah, he did.
They had light at night because God set up a fire for them to continue to walk.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
There were no street lights, like they didn't have light bulbs, none of that. Exactly, right? And so they were able to see 24/7,
Amen.
right?
Yeah.
But still, when something that they expected wasn't given to
Wow.
them,
Yeah.
then they complain, and they even complain about Moses as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're saying, I think that sometimes, like, it takes me back to my house, not necessarily not all the time back to church, because as parents, like my parents, they basically did everything just like for the house, just so I'm their child, me and my sister. So every time I would complain about something, I don't know what extra burden I'm putting on them, just because I want to have Fruit Loops,
Yeah.
but Fruit Loops may not be in the budget.
Yeah, amen.
And
Well.
so it's like that
Well.
complaining then makes it seem like I am ungrateful, because they say, oh, you have cereal.
Yep.
But yeah, it's not Fruit Loops. Like, oh, you have shoes. Yeah, but it's not the new Jordans that just came out.
Well,
Right.
Oh, you have
Jesus.
clothes from Kmart. And it's like, oh, man, like, why we always got to shop at Kmart? And so it's like, I understand that my complaining probably added an extra burden to them. And
Yeah.
so that even happens in the church too, like when people complain.
That's right.
And so, like for the most part, our pastors are doing the best that they can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's some times where people will complain about the stuff they think that they should be doing,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
And so
Well,
certain
yeah.
things may not, like, they may not have the knowledge for certain things, but they
Exactly.
may try to help you or lead you in a certain direction.
Yep.
So, like, but that's the added burden to that person. And
Exactly.
even though the pastor can take that, and even though it is their cross, it doesn't mean just because they can handle it that it's not heavy.
Exactly.